Hello, everyone. This is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
Okay, we're downloading A-Game's formula.
3, 2, 1.
Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I am your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what are we talking about today? You can see the title, The Black Mother is Infallible, but I'm going to read an article, and then I'm going to come back with my perspective and some commentary. So let me go ahead and share. Okay, Keyshia Cole's biological mother dies of an overdose on 61st birthday. Worst pain ever, said sister. So Keyshia Cole's mother, Frankie Lons, has passed away. Early Monday morning, Cole's sister, Elite Noel, confirmed that her mother, Frankie, had died on her birthday of an overdose after suffering from drug addiction for years. Worst pain ever, to see my mom in a body bag on her birthday, she wrote. My heart is so effing broke. Their brother also told TMZ that Lons had relapsed at her Oakland, California home. Lons had marked 2 months of sobriety back in March, TMZ reported. Cole, 39, has yet to make a public statement about her mother's death. Back in 2018, Cole opened up about what it's like to have her mom face an addiction. So this was 2.5 years ago, referring to this post. This was 2.5 years ago. Every time my mom relapsed, it breaks my heart more than it's already broken, she wrote. I'm hoping if any of you are dealing with a family member who's battling with drug addiction, that you yourself are learning how to cope with the struggle of it all and all the pain it brings to see a loved one constantly relapse, she added. See them go back to the streets because that's what they're used to or would rather be. I really miss you and will always love you. In the video, Lons asked people to keep her in her prayers as she attempted sobriety. I've been going to church, she said in the video. I'm taking this a day at a time. Lons was Cole's biological mother. Cole was adopted by family friends Leon and Yvonne Cole at 2 years old. So the first thing that I want to say is my condolences to Keyshia Cole and her family over her loss. I understand what it is to lose a parent. So that is a very deep pain, and one that I hope that her and her family can overcome at some point. Frankie was a drug addict. And the level of dysfunction that comes with that is astronomical, especially when we talk about drug addicted mothers, because they're actually in the home with children and bringing the elements and everything that goes along with and coincides with drug addiction to the home where her children are. Keisha was adopted at 2 years old, so that dysfunction has been going on for a very long time. Keisha's in her 30s and has children of her own. So today I'm going to come at this a little bit differently than I would at some other time, because it is problematic to me to read some of the comments underneath the post. Now, the normal ones are my condolences and things of that nature, because regardless of Frankie's condition, that's still Keyshia Cole's mother, and she still passed away. However, I find to be problematic a couple of things. I was watching another YouTuber's coverage of it, seeing some of the things that were being put in the chat room, and it was problematic to me to see some of the comments, even under where the condolences were, and talking about how angelic Frankie was. These are people that don't know her, by the way. How wonderful of a mother, how wonderful of a person, how loving, and all of these accolades for her. It's one thing to give the condolence, because a loss is a loss under whatever circumstances. But I find those two things problematic. One of the things when I was watching some other YouTubers' coverage of it, and they were trying to blame Keisha or say that she was wrong somehow for creating some sort of distance between herself and her mother's chaos and trouble and threat. And I find that that's very common in the so-called Black community, that no matter what kind of chaos that your mother is involved in, what kind of threats that she presents to you as her child, and no matter how long she has done that, that she still can be regarded as a wonderful mother, a wonderful person, and just this wonderful, great, awesome human being, without taking into any account the experiences of her children. Because just because you continue to love your mother despite her addiction and despite the things she's going through, doesn't negate what she put you through. It doesn't negate the amount of dysfunction that you had to actually experience because of that. It doesn't negate, it doesn't do anything to mitigate the damage that was done by your mother, whom you may still love. Keisha has children that she needs to be responsible for. And she was not in any position to constantly put all of her energy, time, mental focus, heart, everything, money, everything behind Frankie, who had been drug addicted for so long. To the point where that family's dysfunction, not only Frankie's, but Nefertiti, Keyshia Cole's own dysfunctions, and what we saw on those various reality shows and things of that nature, the things that we saw displayed and depicted on those shows You can't blame somebody for deciding that I choose me in that situation. And it doesn't mean that I don't love or that I don't have any care or that I don't have any concern. But what it does mean is I can't sacrifice myself for you. And that's what is expected by the gynocracy. That's what's expected in the Black community, only when it comes to your mother, that you as a child, no matter what you went through, no matter what your experiences were, no matter what you have to overcome, no matter what thing you have to deal with, no matter what type of dysfunction you have to contend with in your life, your mind, your heart, your spirit, you have to always and forever sacrifice your very being for your mother. And that's not even reasonable. That's not practical at all. Because let's just be honest. Frankie was a grown woman who made decisions. And I had a mother addicted. So I know from firsthand experience what it is to see a parent go through the addictions, go through the issues, the problems, all of the tremendous amounts of chaos, tremendous amounts of threat, the dangers that was introduced into the home, the dangers that was introduced to you that you didn't even really know how to compute. You didn't understand how to deal with that. The very person that was supposed to be protecting you from all of these dangers and protecting you even from herself was exposing you to it. To actually smell the drugs. To this day, I know what it smelled like and can't stand it. To watch her do the drugs, to watch the descent, to watch your parent just go down and down and down, and you loving them, you are sacrificing everything until you realize and get to a point, usually after adulthood, where you get to a point where you come to understand you can't love them out of that. It ain't no way to love them out of that addiction. You can't sacrifice enough of yourself to get them out of that. It ain't no amount of words or crying or outpour of emotion or pleading or begging or any of that that's gonna stop them from doing what they're doing. Because when a person is a drug addict, only they can come to the conclusion that I'm tired, that I don't want to do this anymore. I've had enough trouble and chaos. I've had enough. This thing has took me through one too many ringers and I'm done. That is when an addict will then seek the help that they need. That is when you are able to support them. That is when you are able to help them and see them along that path. And too many times in the Black community, the very real issues that our mothers present to us, particularly when she's addicted to drugs, is overlooked because she's your mom. And that's unfair to the kid. She couldn't pay her mother to stop. She tried. She lost a career behind the level of dysfunction that was going on and present and prevalent and public in her family. You can't tell me that Keyshia Cole wouldn't have stopped or would have stopped her career had she not had to contend with that level of dysfunction. And only later on did she realize, I got to pull back from this because I have children that I'm responsible for. And I can't neglect them for her. Because at the end of the day, as much as I love my mother, as much as I care for my mother is a grown woman who is really making decisions. She's deciding these things, no matter how hurtful it is for me to think of it that way. She's deciding that she's gonna be on drugs. She's deciding that she's not going to clean herself up. And she may come to me and express how she wants to be clean and things of that nature, but at the same time, you got to actually do it. We don't know the scars that Keisha and her siblings have to endure and bear because of their mother. We don't know the extent. Some of us have been through it, so we can hazard a pretty good educated guess about it. These things haunt you and affect you into adulthood, especially if you're late on getting therapy or you're late on figuring out how to handle your life outside of these dysfunctions and coping mechanisms that you picked up to protect yourself. And I find it disturbing that she can be referred to as this angelic, innocent person when can that really be said? So here's my question on the table. Why is the Black mother always right? And also, why is it wrong for the child in the situation to save yourself from the chaos and the threat, even if it is your mom? Why is that wrong? I fail to understand why it's wrong. Because any species is all about self-preservation first. I can't be all right for you if I'm not all right for me. I can't be all right for you if I'm not all right for me. And how many times do you toss yourself upon the sword for somebody that'll just take the sword and stab you in the back with it? And you make a sacrifice, only to get it pushed back into your face because this person is not done with the streets. This person is not done doing what they doing. Why is it a problem in the Black community if you understand that I cannot survive around my mother because the toxicity level is too high? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna pass away, or I'm just not gonna be no good if I don't extricate myself from the immediate situation. I have to draw distance, because if you let people do it, they will drag you down. And it seemed like in terms of the gynocracy, they want you to be drugged down if it's your mama that's doing the dragging, and you ain't supposed to go kicking and screaming. You supposed to go to the slaughter with your head down and a smile on your face. And that is not so. It's just not. Sometimes there's too much damage. And again, that don't necessarily stop you from loving that person, but it does stop you from being so up close and engaged that I'm wrapped up and I can't even live my life because I'm so busy trying to save you from yours. I'm trying to save you from you. But who gonna save me? You can't save me. You ain't never been in a position to save me. So I got to do it myself. I got to figure out how to save myself. And once I do that, if I can come back and be a support, not an enabler, because I think Black people get that mixed up, support and enabling, and that's two different things. And drug addiction falls underneath the health value. And I can't care more about it than you do because it's not possible. Because at the end of the day, that person has to come to the light and come to the understanding and come to the realization for themselves. You cannot come to it for them. Keisha could not come to it for her mother. She could not save her mother. And you know she couldn't have, because you know she tried. And if she could have, she would have. And if you've ever had an addicted parent, you know what I'm saying is true. They have to understand it. And it ain't nothing you can do about it, no matter how much love you have for them, to make them see. They have to see. So here is what I say about this situation. You must value yourself enough, especially if you find yourself in a situation like this, when you have a parent that you love and that parent is addicted or somehow abusive or whatever the case may be. You got to value yourself enough to want to thrive and not just merely survive. Because it's not it's not even surviving. It is mere existence, mere breathing in and out. When you allow yourself to be wrapped up in an addict's world that's not done being an addict. Because in the mind of an addict, that addiction overshadows everything in their life. It doesn't matter if they genuinely deep down in their heart love you too. They love that drug more because they love it more than themselves. You have to create some type of distance to learn how to value yourself, your time, your energy. You got to learn the skill set that you need to preserve yourself and get yourself right. You have to get your life in order, because if you grew up with an addicted mother, your life is out of order. Is what it is. It's out of order because you have not witnessed or been taught how to put it in order. So pretty much everything you know is a dysfunctional coping mechanism that you adopted in order to save yourself. So if you are dealing with an addicted parent, first thing you got to do, like I said, is save yourself. You have to. Don't think about it as abandoning them, even though some of them might try to make you feel like you're abandoning them. But you can't give in to that. You have to understand that self-preservation comes first, and that type of selfishness is not wrong. Once you get yourself strong, in a strong position, and you feel that you can once again engage, then you have to engage carefully and you have to engage intelligently. Always making sure to maintain the peace of your mind and the integrity of the internal 5 of the 10 life values while dealing with them. You cannot sacrifice your spiritual value. You cannot sacrifice your health value. You cannot sacrifice your family value. You cannot sacrifice your appearance value. And you cannot sacrifice your dwelling value in lieu of them. You cannot. That is when you are operating from a position of strength and power. And then once you're at that place, if you can support them, not enable them, but support them in them dropping that addiction and turning their life around and getting to a better place in their life, then support them. But if you find that when you come back around, you just get pulled back into that black hole and they're not doing any changing and you're the one that's regressing, you got to let it go. And you might just have to love them from a distance and pray on it. Pray on it. Take it to the Lord. Because you've done all that you can do. And it ain't no more. And that don't mean you hate them. That just means you can. This is not in your hands. It's not within your power. That is not within your jurisdiction to handle. Turn it over to the Lord, because that's who's gonna have to handle it. And you have to make peace with that and understand that you really have done all that you can do in that situation. Most of us have loved ones who have been addicted to something. And so we understand that your heart get broke because you're so emotionally invested in this person. You love them. And you don't want to see the destruction that they put themselves through. And you wondering to yourself, why can't they understand it? And on a lot of levels, they do understand it. But like I said, that addiction overshadowed everything. It's a demon. And it overshadowed their life. They can't take care of you because they can't take care of them. So sound off in the comment section. What do you guys think about the infallibility of the Black mother? Why is it that even in her dysfunction, even in her failures, even in any of that stuff, she still can be exalted as a wonderful mother of all things, and just this person that needs to be pedestalized no matter what? I want everyone to sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think about that. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I am your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.